Very few anime, especially sequels, have spoken to my soul. However, Megalobox Season 2 did that from the jump. Joe was back, but this time he's fighting for his life filled with regret, painkillers, and trying to forget his past. He knows he's done things that he can't undo, and he'll go back to how things used to be. However, he's trying to brush it off and avoid the consequences of his actions, and move on. It took a whole brand new character and a lot of conflict for Joe to actually learn his lesson. Joe, like a lot of people, thinks it's better to handle things on your own and not rely on others because they can get hurt. So you can always say, hey, I can handle my burden alone. I've been doing that. However, due to the old man, Joe realized that the entire community of immigrants were inspired by him in his boxing, and he started to finally begin to forgive himself and rely on others. Joe could always do this, but he always kept people at a safe distance. And watching this week to week on Hulu was really a treat. I see a badass who tries to keep his cool and pride in check, and this person finally matures. I get that, the not running away is part of redemption, it's part of the process. However, I think it doesn't really begin until you realize that your actions affect others. And if you don't want it to be, if you don't try to hurt people, people will look up to you, they'll expect things from you, put you on a pedestal, see you as an obstacle to overcome, see you as a rival, and that's okay. Season 2 is also original content, so you can see it came at the perfect time because, they say, no one man is an island. And with COVID going on, it's the perfect time to see, a crazy adventure that's grounded in reality. Also, humans need hope and people to rely on, even if they don't want to admit it. And there's a big focus in Season 2 of this story about a hummingbird. And the whole thing is about redemption, which is referenced a lot in the episodes. One focal point is having a place to return to, and that's what the hummingbird symbolizes, a place to return to, or like a beacon of guiding light, pretty much. After a stormy day, you need somewhere to go back home to. And it's also referenced Season 1, how Joe calls himself as a stray dog with no home to return to. He had places to go, but never anywhere permanent. No one like, hey, I can't wait to see Joe again. So it all adds up. Joe knows he messed up and probably destroys his real home. However, to him, boxing's like the one thing he can do and he has to do. He doesn't think about, oh, people need me. He understands people do, but he doesn't think about that often. And this whole season is about learning that Joe always had a home and family, and he needs to maintain it even when time gets tough, because a big core of what happens in Season 2 is like, Joe essentially, he went on his own to kind of redeem himself. He didn't tell nobody he did, because he messed up big time, and he felt like the only way to redeem himself is becoming a stray dog once again, and starting over, but because of what happened, he's relying on painkillers too much to numb the pain, but it's barely working, and he's really sick, and he needs time to heal. And thanks to the old man character, realized the painkiller's not doing any good. Yes, it's numbing the pain, but the pain's still gonna come back when it wears off. And if he doesn't take the painkillers often enough, it's like the side effects are driving him crazy. He can barely stay on his own, he's passing out randomly, and he has a lot of stomach pain. Just like Joe, we all have made mistakes and bad choices that we regret. But the whole point is, you can learn from those choices and mistakes because they don't define you as a whole. The important thing is being able to grow and want to be a better person. So when you fall, you don't end up destroying everything important to you. Because how you redeem yourself if you think you can't ever recover or learn from mistakes? What I liked about all the cast, they all made mistakes that really impacted a lot of the characters and people. And at first it was like, no, they can't recover from this. But then slowly but surely, redemption's always an option on the table. It's just you have to start the process and see it through the end. Even when it's hard, even if it's a possibility, people you hurt or you betrayed will never forgive you. You can still redeem yourself. Because you're not doing it just for them. You're also doing it for yourself. And that was a big thing in the series. Because, a lot of times people want to redeem themselves. They're like, oh, I need everybody to forgive me. No one has to forgive you. They can look past what you did and try to, but not obligated to. Crazy part is, if you do messed up things, the most hurtful thing to do is act like it never happened. Because that's like ignoring everyone's pain and all the consequences of your actions. Because no matter what, we're not gods. We're not angels. We're human. We're flawed. We're gonna mess up. What matters is getting off your ass and learning from that pain to be better. Not just for the forgiveness and for everybody to look past what you did, but because you're capable of doing so. That's what I liked about Season 2. It was focused on how Joe impacted a lot of people's lives and changed a lot of people's lives. And even though he didn't want to realize it or recognize it, he did. And thus, people can grow apart, people can change. That's not necessarily a bad thing. Change and being uncomfortable is part of growing. Yes, conflict happens, but you can't avoid conflicts and happen to one another. without learning the best way to avoid unnecessary conflict. And that's why I liked it so much, really talked about all these things and show you that no matter what walk of life you're on, we're all going to go through similar things. We're going to have highs and lows, but obviously, even when we have highs and lows, also middles, and you can always bounce back if you really want to. So, do you feel like you cannot be redeemed for some stuff you did, or you don't deserve forgiveness? If you say so, why do you feel that way? What was one thing that you regret doing, but because of that regret, you became a better person? Let me know in the comment section below. And let's learn from Megalobox Season 2, trust ourselves in the process, so we always find our way back home. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. You could follow me on Twitter. You can subscribe, support my coffee, or Patreon, either one works. Thanks so much for watching. I could really say so much more, but my crew needs me.